Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a Superman Lois Season 4 video talking about everything that we know that's going to be happening in Season 4, aka the final season so far. So this is a bit of an update video. I've made similar videos over the last year since Superman Lois Season 3 ended. So this is an updated version for June 2024. So if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment. And subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos later this year. Okay, so we're going to be reading through this Cinema Blend article, which is to do with what we know so far, and it's a really good list that states what we know, and obviously I'll add my bits and pieces that potentially they missed out on in the article, and I'll give my analysis and my thoughts on everything that we know about Season 4 so far. So first things first, before we get into it, let's talk about the possibility of a trailer. We got to talk about that. And of course there was some teasers like maybe a month ago that one of the CW networks has seen a trailer for Superman Lois Season 4, whether it's a promo or a trailer, I don't know. But anyway, that will come at some point in the kind of near future. I wouldn't be expecting it in the next month. I would say towards the end of the summer, considering that Superman Lois is supposed to come out in the fall, so that would be October time. But yeah, let's get into this. So let's talk about the premiere date. So it was reported by outlets like THR in June 2023 that Superman Lois was moving forward. However, at the time of writing and the time of me making this video, an official premiere date hasn't yet been announced, so that's something that we're going to have to find out in the next couple of months at the absolute latest. They need to get scheduling in terms of the actual dates. I presume the people at the CW know when they actually want to release the new season, and so I'm gonna guess sometime mid-October. That would be my best guess. And obviously we know that it's been moved to a Thursday night. It's going to be at 8 PM I believe, and so that is a few changes. But let's move on to talk about the returning cast members. So you can't have Superman Lois without its two titular protagonists, so naturally Tyler and Bitsy Tulloch will be respectively reprising Clark Kent and Lois Lane. You have the rest of the Kent family, and you have Lex Luthor. We know that he's going to be a series regular in this final season. So yeah, Alex Garfin and Michael Bishop are going to be back as well, and so those are going to be your series regulars, and there is just going to be some other people that are going to be joining the mix. But as I said, Michael Cudlitz as Lex Luthor is going to be a series regular in this final season, so what can we take from that? Well, it just means he's going to be in a lot of episodes, so clearly Lex is going to be scheming, behind the scenes, but also facing off against Superman, facing off against Lois. Obviously his main vendetta in this season is still going to be all about Lois, because Lois is the one that locked him up falsely way back when. And so yeah, he didn't waste any time last season going after Lois, so he's definitely not going to waste any time this season. But yeah, let's move on to the next bit. So more characters from the comics are being introduced in this season. Let's break this down. So this is a TV show based on Superman mythos, so naturally this means there will be characters from the comics who are going to be included in Season 4, and despite all the budget cuts, there are going to be some big names, and the biggest name that's been revealed so far is Jimmy Olsen, the Daily Planet photographer. This version will be played by Douglas Smith, who's actually the brother of one of the main directors who directs a lot of Superman Lois, and he's described as someone who's the life of the party and trying to get Clark Kent out of his shell to become his pal, indicating that his scenes might be from flashbacks, and I'm fairly certain that's all going to be flashbacks as far as I'm aware right now. And it's strange that he's the life of the party, considering Jimmy in the comics is normally very shy. Yeah, Macabre Brooks' version in Supergirl was more outgoing, but yeah, I'm kind of surprised by the description of him being the life of the party. But we'll also be meeting Amanda McCoy, who's going to be played by Yvonne Chapman. You guys may have seen her from Kung Fu and Avatar: The Last Airbender recently. And so this is a character described as being one of Lex Luthor's key allies. She is not only going to be running Luthor Corp while he obviously was in prison, and she's still got, a lot of control in the present day, and she took it to new heights, and she will aid in Lex's vendetta against Superman and Lois Lane in this season. So yeah, you're going to be seeing Amanda McCoy, who actually, importantly in the comics, found out that Clark Kent was Superman, but failed to convince Lex of this, so maybe this version of Amanda will actually figure it out and reveal it to Lex. There are going to be some other characters that are introduced in this season, but those other two major characters who I believe will be at least recurring or guest stars in the show. And yeah, you'll have a couple of other new allies that you'll see from, Lex Luthor's past that are going to be coming to the forefront, but they're not going to be like huge characters. But the most important and interesting thing for me was the reveal a while ago that a familiar Arrowverse face will appear in an episode of Superman Lois' final season, that being of course Tom Cavanagh, who teased a while ago that he's actually going to be appearing in the final episode of Superman Lois Season 4, which is currently titled It Went By So Fast, very fittingly, and this will be the actor's first time showing up on the series, but the man is well acquainted with the show because obviously he directed quite a few episodes, and he played multiple versions of Harrison Wells, Eobard Thawne, and Reverse Flash in The Flash, so we've seen him many times, and he is supposedly going to be returning, but it hasn't yet been revealed if Tom Cavanagh will play a version of Wells or Thawne from Superman Lois' Earth, or from elsewhere in the multiverse, or the other option is he could be playing a brand new character. Now let me know your theories down in the comments below, because we've had some time to think about this. Don't know if you guys remembered when he actually announced that. It was like maybe a month or so ago, and I definitely am of the opinion that we might see like a Wells from Superman Lois' Earth, or it could be a brand new character. I highly doubt it's going to be Reverse Flash. I don't see there's any point in introducing a new version of Reverse Flash, or even, the Reverse Flash from The Flash, because he has no real link to The Flash in general, this version of Superman. I don't think they've ever teamed up, because, the version that we saw of Tyler in Crisis is supposed to be actually different. It's Superman from Earth 1 rather than Superman from, Superman Lois' Earth. So I'm just happy that we're getting one final Arrowverse crossover with Tom Cavanagh appearing, so I'm looking forward to getting more details on his appearance. Let's move on to the next topic. Season 4 will resolve the Doomsday fight, the cliffhanger of Season 3. So at the end of Season 3, you saw Doomsday actually go after Superman. He was sent by Luthor, obviously. It's Bizarro who has been morphed into this like Kryptonian abomination, and he's sent with like the main mission of just killing Superman, and that's the cliffhanger that we got in Season 3. They were out on the moon, and he was just smacking Superman around. So we're gonna see the continuation of that in Season 4 supposedly, but I'm very, very certain that this is going to be quite glossed over, and that is because of the budget cuts, and I don't think they're gonna have the budget to extend this Doomsday fight or do a Death of Superman storyline. I think if Superman dies, it's going to be for like 1 or 2 episodes absolutely max, because you've only got 10 episodes in the final season. And so let's move on from this to talk about Season 4's budget, because it has been significantly trimmed down. This is all because of Nexstar taking over the CW. They're trimming everything. They've cancelled so many shows. Like, look at Legends, Stargirl, all those other shows, and, other recent shows like Walker and All American Homecoming. They've all been cancelled, and lots of shows have ended because this is just not the way that the CW wants to continue. We've talked about that many times, but they are pivoting to other types of content. And so as part of this, Superman Lois is having big budget cuts, and we saw it with 10 episodes being the total. That's the least amount of Superman Lois episodes we've ever got. Also, half of the writers' room was cut down to just 5 people instead of just 8, which it was previously. And then also they cut most of the main cast, which is the next topic. So let's continue with this. So as part of the budget cuts, you had the removal of those major actors like Emmanuel, like Eric, Indy, Will Parks, Taylor Buck, Sophia Hazmack. They were all previously series regulars on the show, and it was announced that they would be only appearing as guest stars on the show. So I believe they all have 3 episodes that they're going to appear in, and that's going to be it. They're not series regulars, and that's because of those big budget cuts, and their appearances are going to be spread throughout the season, although as far as I'm aware most of them are going to be appearing in the series finale. But for now, let's talk about the final thing. So this is obviously the end of the Arrowverse. This is the end of Superman Lois. This is, you know, a time for them to properly wrap up the show, to satisfy the fans with all the stories and all the character connections. Obviously the main overarching story of Clark and Lois being taken down by Lex Luthor, that is Lex's goal in this season. And we're going to see if Lex goes, you know, full Lex Luthor, goes in a Lexo suit for the first time, tries to take on Superman, and we'll see how that ends. But you can presume Lex's character is going to end back in prison. And with the rest of the characters, they've got to find good ways to, you know, put those characters out and make it be satisfying. And I think with Superman Lois and the way that, you know, the main characters are going to end, let's say just the Kent family, I think it's going to be a happy ending. I really don't see them actually going for anything darker, despite the show being really great and not holding back. So I see them defeating Lex maybe at the start of the series finale. That's normally how it goes, and then you have the rest of the episode to kind of iron out the bits and pieces that they haven't picked up on. We know, as I said, a lot of different characters are going to be returning, so the actors were back for the finale, and obviously you have like guest cameos and stuff like Tom Cavanaugh showing up, so you got to deal with that as well. So it's not just the end of Superman Lois, it's the end of the Arrowverse, despite the Flash doing a really good job at wrapping up the Arrowverse with their many crossovers, seeing the return of Stephen Amell as Oliver Queen, and having, you know, Nicole Main show up as a Supergirl crossover. So they did a good job at wrapping up the whole of the Arrowverse, but this is the last chapter of the Arrowverse, the final corner that they have to round out properly. And so yeah, they're going to do that, and I believe actually they're going to do a good job. And so for now, that's pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment. Shout out to Cinema Blend for giving me a good outline to break down, you know, what's going to happen in season 4 of Superman Lois. But as I said at the start of the video, don't expect a trailer or any promos anytime soon, but it will definitely ramp up come September at least. That will be like the very latest. So I'm really looking forward to all of that, and hopefully you guys stick around. And if you enjoyed these videos, please be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss any videos. Also, you can click on the top right corner of the screen to watch my latest video. But for now, I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.